I'm Sam.
And this is Gabe.
And this is Coaster Wars.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Coaster Wars podcast for today. Big things come in small packages. We're talking about fun size.
I love that intro. That was awesome. Yes, this is in the roller coastering world. We love to talk about the biggest, the baddest, the fastest out there.
The record breakers, the gigantic behemoth 300-foot roller coasters. No, not today.
Not today. We would like to bring light to some of the little guys out there and just how fun they actually can be. So today we're talking about coasters that are under 100 feet tall. And this is going to be so much fun because I'm gonna be
honest with you. It took every ounce of my power not to put Maverick in here. Because I really was thinking about it for a while. Just like switch it out last second and just throw Maverick in here. And you'd just be like, wait, what?
That's very true. That is very true. Because that is a very, very good roller coaster. And it is under 100 feet tall. But the two that we have today are two very fun roller coasters. And for once, I picked one that was not on our 2025 roller coaster extravaganza because we have been doing that a lot. So this is going to be a fun episode. I'm excited.
You're excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. Do you want to introduce our fighters?
Yes, I can do that. In the red corner, standing at a max height of 70 feet and reaching a top speed of 55 miles per hour. Hailing from the hills of Pennsylvania and the Kennywood Gym is Thunderbolt. In the blue corner, standing at a max height of 87 feet and reaching a top speed of 49 miles per hour. Hailing from the hills of Utah and Schwarzkopf Gym, it is Colossus the Fire Dragon. Let the fight begin.
Yes! Oh, I'm so excited to talk about my coaster today. If anyone's listened to our podcast, you know that I am a Schwarzkopf girly. I love these guys so much, and we're talking about a very unique one, Colossus the Fire Dragon.
Yes.
Oh, I am. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Jeez. I am bringing a Thunderbolt, a very old, very classic wooden roller coaster from Kennywood.
Yeah. Who do we want to talk about first today?
Let's do the older one. Let's do the elder of the group. This is a coaster built in Kennywood in 1924, originally known as the Pippin. Once again, this is a John A. Miller design. And then in 1968, it got its little bit of a redesign. Some additional track was added. And that one is when Thunderbolt was born. And let me tell you, this coaster is a legend.
Yes. Yes. I think one of the coolest things about this roller coaster is that the first drop happens right out of the station and you don't have a lift hill before it. You have to like circle back around to what is the lift hill on this ride. And it dives into the ravine on both of these drops. Oh, this was a really good wooden roller coaster. And like, I feel like when you hear that a coaster was built in the 1920s, you kind of like, okay, what are we going to get out of this thing? And this thing was cool.
Oh, absolutely. This coaster is definitely a bucket list coaster, I think, just because of the history behind it and, you know, who designed it. And then it was just a really fun little roller coaster. Like, it really is. The other kind of little bit of a funny thing, too, is this coaster is marked at 70 feet in height, but its largest drop is actually closer to 90 feet. And that's why it has the top speed of 55 miles per hour. Also kind of interesting, it's actually faster than Colossus the Fire Dragon. Did not realize that until I did the intro.
I didn't either. That's hilarious. I think another we could talk about all the kind of funny things on this thing is that it still runs the original 1920 Pippin roller coaster trains. And what's even crazier about that is that because of the forces that this thing now pulls, they actually put the heavier rider on a certain side of the train. And I just that's also fun. It makes it fun loading the trains and stuff. It does unfortunately make it a little bit slower, I think, but lines are just theme parks, so
Well, the biggest thing is that because of the way the trains are designed, you can only get in and out of one side of the train. So
yeah.
basically, they have to have everybody like depart the train and clear the station before they can allow the next group to load. The other thing too is like when we were there, it was only on one train ops, which made that change like significantly more noticeable.
I actually
Because
totally
like
forgot that.
yeah, because like if you're running two trains, you have to wait until the train, the first train cycles a good portion of the track before you can dispatch anyway. So
Mhm.
like then it's not as noticeable. I think just the fact that it was on a one train op the day we were there was definitely more noticeable.
Okay. But that being said, we did get multiple rides on this guy. And
Yes,
the fact that
in the
we
rain.
rode in trains that were from the 1920s is actually crazy. Because most, I mean, a lot of other really old roller coasters do run PTC trains. I just don't know if like they were the original PTC trains. I don't think so because I don't know that PTC. Well, no, they were building coasters at the time. Never mind.
They were, but like the old PTC trains had like the buzz bars. That's
Oh,
kind of how
okay.
like these trains are pretty old. Like anything with a traditional lap bar and seatbelt, that's going to be the more modern version of the PTC trains. The
Okay.
other thing too is PTC trains have not changed very very significantly
Yeah.
over the years, so it is very very hard to date them just visually looking at them,
Yeah.
where like these trains are very obviously dated just the way they
Yes.
look.
Yes. Oh,
So, but
but
it
this
is.
thing.
I love the way they look. I really do.
Yes. Yeah. They're very fun. Why don't you get into a layup real quick for us, Gabe?
Okay. Thunderbolt. Let's see. So this roller coaster starts with a drop into the valley right out of the station. You then pop up into a 180 degree elevated turnaround to the right. This sends you into another drop into the valley. You then pop up into like it's kind of like a double up element, but it sends you into the lift hill. So you can have like
Yeah.
a pop up and then you hook onto the chain, and this takes you to its max height. At the very top of the lift hill, you then do a 90-degree turn to the right before sending you into the next drop. You basically then dive all the way down towards the ground and get sent into like a 90, well, we'll call it a 180-degree turn with very minimal banking, by the way.
Yeah.
Gives you some really, really good laterals. You then pop up into like an airtime moment. Now, keep in mind, this whole section is kind of like Helix E, but
Yes.
like not like a traditional helix. So you're always kind of turning to the right a little bit. So like even in this airtime hill, even at the top of it, you then start kind of turning and diving back towards the ground to the right. You then go all the way back towards the ground before popping up into another kind of airtime-esque moment. You then dive down into another turn as you're still continuing to turn right throughout this entire section of ride. And then you pop up into, I think, what they're calling a mid course. Well, there is friction brakes in there, so I think you could technically say it's a mid-course brake run. I don't know if they utilize it that way anymore. They probably are not
Yeah.
allowed to because of the skid brakes.
Yeah.
But there is technically a mid-course on this roller coaster. Just saying.
Wow.
You then turns to the left ever so slightly, and then once again dive all the way down into the valley. I believe this is the 90-foot drop, if
Okay.
I had to guess, because I
That makes
believe
sense.
diving into the valley would give you the most height. You then pop up into another 180-degree elevated turnaround to the right. You then dive into the valley one final time. You then pop up and fly into the final brakes. So it is a very, very simple layout. However, in the back row, the dives into the valley are very, very good for airtime.
Yes.
And then the
Yes.
entire like helix-esque section is just lateral heaven.
Yes. Yes.
It's
I
like a
think
little baby legend.
it totally actually
It
is though.
is. It
Oh my
is. It's like a
gosh.
little baby legend.
It's a little baby legend. It is. I think that, like, with that quote unquote helix section, when we talk about helixes, usually it's like a big fluid turnaround moment where you go in a big circle. This is not that.
No,
You
no,
do
it's not.
technically go like 360 degrees, but it's like it's broken up as like Gabe described it into almost like different elements of that. And then, yes, the dives into the ravine, all of them are very, very good. I forget which one is the best, though.
From what I remember, it's that big 90-foot drop. So
Okay.
basically, when you come off that, what we're calling the mid-course brake run, you do that little
Yes.
bit of a turn to the left, and then you dive towards Dow Valley. I think that the reason that one's the best is because it is the largest drop, but you do have a little bit of added speed gain coming
Hmm.
off that mid-course type element.
Yeah.
And then with the turn as well, you're descending during that entire time, so you do gain a decent amount of speed. That, and also, if it was truly designed to be a mid-course brake run, I assume that when this coaster first opened, it probably did actually slow you down there to compensate for it a little
Hmm.
bit. And now I don't think they operated it at all.
I was gonna
So
say I don't remember there being breaks,
no, and
so
that's what I'm saying. So, and that's just a theory. I don't know actually if that operated that to that extent to slow the train down. But in today's day and age, they're not running it at all. So you do gain a decent amount of speed before you enter that 90-foot drop. And I believe that was the best one from what I remember.
yes, this thing was so cool. And I think, like, keep in mind, this is a 1920s roller coaster, then again, redesigned in the 60s. So, like, it has decent forces. It is so wonky that you can't help but love this thing. And then at the same time, it actually has somewhat decent pacing because it's like it's got a really nice drop and then some turnaround elements. It's got a good mix of forces. And like don't get me wrong, it's not anything by like modern standard pacing, but like we talk about with these kinds of roller coasters, you have to like look through the lens of the time that they were built at.
Oh,
And if we think
absolutely.
about another coaster that was built in the 60s, I think Blue Streak was built in like no, Blue Streak was the 40s, wasn't it?
No, Blue Streak was like the
Anyways,
early
other
60s, I
older
thought.
wooden roller coasters like this. Yeah, see, I thought it was the 62.
Yeah.
So, like comparing those two, this thing is like quite the thrill machine.
Oh, absolutely. This is definitely like a thrill coaster. This is not a family coaster. Of the three Woodies at Kennywood, this is probably the most intense. Take that
Yes.
with the take that with perspective. This ain't gonna be like a, you know, Phantom's Revenge
No.
or Steel Curtain, but like of the three Woodies, it definitely is the more aggressive one. And then the laterals. That's what I really remember about this roller coaster.
Yes.
Is just like getting shoved into the side of the train repeatedly over and over. Like that's what I remember. So like it's just a very, very good roller coaster for its time period that it was built. And it's just a fun guy.
Yeah.
Once again, this is a coaster where it's definitely not the best in the park, but it is one that really sticks out in my mind from our visit to Kennywood. The other
Hmm.
kind of crazy thing, we only got like two rides on this because it
Yeah.
had one of the longer lines in the park.
Hmm.
And then since they were running one train due to our time constraints, we only rode it like once or twice. Like Steel Curtain, we rode that thing like 10 times.
Yeah, we did.
Even Phantom's Revenge we rode like 10 times just because there was at one point nobody getting in line for it.
Yep,
But like
yep.
that should
We
tell you how good Thunderbolt is that of all the coasters at Kennywood, it's the one we waited the longest for.
yes. So I do remember that it broke down while we were in line, but
Oh yeah.
this is a moment to hype up Kennywood because they fixed it while we were still in line. So we
Yes,
were
yes,
we were
that's
able to
very
still
true.
ride it. So but at the same time, again, a 1920s roller coaster having a little bit of a mechanical issue is not like that
Well,
uncommon.
considering they're still running the skid brakes on the thing. Yeah,
Exactly.
no.
So, yes,
Just a
100%. If you find yourself at Kennywood, get in line for this thing. At least
Oh
ride
yeah,
it once because
just a
it is
very
crazy.
fun, unique, cool, historic. Like there's just a lot of aspects about this coaster. Like just a unique ride experience, especially with the terrain that it traverses. Like that's the
Yeah,
other thing too. It is half a terrain coaster.
it
Like you do
really
got to
is.
remember that. And then I do love like just the visual of like this little baby wooden roller coaster. You just look up and you see like a 200-foot tall Phantom Revenge drop right
Yeah.
above it, and you're like, and it just like goes screaming over the roller coaster and down into the valley. You're just like, it's just a funny visual because you just have this fun little woody, and then you just have this massive steel gargantuan coaster parked right on top of it. It's just kind of
Yes.
it makes me chuckle a little bit every time I see pictures of it.
That is to be said that Phantom's Revenge is literally on top of this roller coaster. They're not next to each other.
No, no, they're literally like crisscross.
Yes. So it is one of the ones that me and Gabe talk about that you get off and you're just smiling because you're like,
Oh
that was
yeah.
so much fun. Oh.
It does provide a unique head chopper on that drop out of the station, and even the first drop after the helix section,
Yeah.
because like you do dive like right underneath like the second drop of Phantom's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
So it does create a very unique head chopper moment. Just kind of, it's just funny. It makes me laugh.
Yes. It's something to be said about how not only the coaster itself, but sometimes the environment that it's in can also add to your ride experience on them.
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
All right. Do we want to get into Colossus the Fire Dragon now?
The coolest name in the roller coaster world.
This thing has such a cool name. It
It
is.
does. Whoever named this, it's like that meme where it's like, guys, it's just a looping traveling coaster at Lagoon, and it's like, hold on, let me cook. And then Colossus the Fire Dragon is how they named it. Also, the
Yes.
sign for this thing, I just love this coaster visually. Like,
Yes. This thing is so cool. And it's like it has blue track, but the loops have yellow on the outside of them. And then, like, a funny tidbit. So, I needed a little bit more information. So, of course, I looked up the wiki on this roller coaster, and it had something like 12,000 lights on it as one of the stats. And I was like, that's freaking awesome.
yeah, that is actually kind of insane.
Yes. So, Colossus the Fire Dragon is a 1981. So it was, I'm going to say manufactured. I'm not going to say built. It was manufactured in 1981 because this was originally a Schwarzkopf traveling coaster, and it traveled
Yes.
for 2 years over in Europe and then became a permanent installation at Lagoon in 1983. According to RCDB, it is 86.9 feet tall and goes 49.1 miles per hour. It has two inversions. And now this is what I was looking for because the name of the game with a lot of Schwarzkopfs is the G's.
Oh
And
yeah.
it didn't say it on RCDB. So according to the Wikipedia, in the front row it pulls 4 G's, but in the back row it pulls 4.9 G's.
And that's definitely actually though, that's a legitimate thing because we rode this. This is another coaster we had the opportunity to get multiple laps on. And I
Yes.
do remember at different points in the train, it did feel more intense.
Yes, it really did. I think part of it is that this thing actually, for a traveling coaster, has decently long trains. So, with the small layout and like the helixes that it goes through, it really pulls some forces. And I
Yes.
remember that because we got off and we're just like, holy crap, this thing shouldn't have been a traveling coaster.
Yes,
Oh.
this is the coaster that I told the story about. I do believe we talked about this ride a little bit in the Lagoon special episode,
Mm-hmm.
where they were talking. I was talking to the ride operator, and he was saying that some of the maintenance guys would ride this roller coaster without a seatbelt because there's no airtime, there's
Yeah.
no like laterals or anything. It's all about G forces, which keeps you in your seat. And he said that some of the maintenance guys, as a fun joke, would literally ride this roller coaster without a seatbelt on. And I just thought that was the funniest thing. Now, when it comes to the actual lap bar restraint, I'm not going to comment on that. But yeah, he said they'd ride it without a seatbelt. The other thing he said that some people would do is they'd sneak like a quarter or a nickel onto the ride and they'd place it in the palm of their hand and leave the palm of their hand open. And when they finished the roller coaster, the penny or quarter or whatever they used would still be in the palm of their hand.
Yes. Oh, so let me get into a quick layout and then we can talk a little bit more about this guy because it is a remarkably simple layout. You are sent straight into that lift hill right out of the station before that first drop, which curves to the right and drops you right into the back-to-back vertical concentric loops. And that is the thing with Sort Cops is modern day elliptical loops that kind of look like ovals instead of circles, which Gabe has better explained this to me, but from what I remember from what he's told me, elliptical loops are designed to keep the G forces the same throughout, and concentric ones don't. They increase at the top or
Depends on the rate of speed you're traveling through
okay.
the loop. So yes, the teardrop or elliptical shape loop is designed to maintain the g forces throughout the loop. So basically, it narrows where it needs to add g forces and it gets elongated where it needs to reduce the g forces. So that way, through the entire duration of the element, you're experiencing relatively the same amount of g forces. The problem with the concentric circle loops is that if you enter the loop too slow, you end up with hang time at the top of the
Ah,
loop. But if you enter the loop too fast, the entrance and exit give you insane g forces. So
okay.
basically, in the beginning and the end of the loop. So if you want to experience g forces at the top of a concentric circle, you have to be doing a relatively high amount of g's at the beginning and end of the loop to feel that. So
Yes.
basically, these trains are going faster than they should, is the
Yes.
best way to explain it.
So this is why I'm a Schwarzkopf girly is because I love the feeling that you get in concentric loops. But after those back-to-back loops, you then are led into a banked helix where you ascend and then descend into a straight piece of track that brings you into a descending helix that loops around 3 times. And by the final banked 360, you're actually literally on the ground where you exit into those final breaks. So like I said, short, sweet, simple, to the point, relatively simple layout, but the amount of forces that you experience, and then on top of that, these banked turns into helixes that either start on the ground in the first one or end on the ground in the last one. The last one, especially, you are so close to the ground and you're not quite banked 90 degrees, but you're probably at like 70 degrees. And like Gabe is tall. And if he was on that seat that was closer to the ground, like we were
I
worried he was
could
gonna hit. Yeah.
I could reach out and touch the concrete.
Yes.
Like not only are you banked at like 90 degrees, you are on the ground. And this is a coaster where all over they tell you not to put your hands up. And it's like, okay,
Yes.
as a roller coaster enthusiast, we're like, whatever. They
Yep.
tell us that all the time. Like that's a joke. This coaster will take a finger or two. Like I swear, like
Yes.
even the head choppers with like the support system on it and everything, like whoever measured the head choppers and like the clearance on this roller coaster, you could definitely tell it was not regulated the same way as it is now. Because like it's legitimately like a taller person could reach out and grab some of the supports on this roller coaster, or even in my case, I could reach out and touch the concrete in some of
Mm-hmm.
the banked turns. Like it is insane how thin the margins are on this roller coaster.
It's the other thing about there's quite a few coasters actually at Lagoon that are travel or used to be traveling coasters, I should say. And the thing with traveling coasters is like I don't feel like it's gonna fall apart, but I almost feel like there's a certain amount of movement that you can feel in the track when you
Just
ride
even
these things.
visually, just even
Yes.
visually, sometimes like, is that support moving? Like, like
Yes.
is that actually secured to anything? Is that even doing anything? Like,
Yes. Yes, so there's a certain level of, I don't even know what to call it, like doubt you have in the stability of a roller coaster when it is a traveling coaster, and then looking at it, it does not give you any confidence in the dang things. And Lagoon has like three of them, I think. But I will say this: Colossus was better than Jetstar.
Yes.
Jetstar was actually scary to ride.
I don't think Jetstar's there anymore.
Really?
I think they took it out. I'd have
Okay.
to look. Don't quote me on this.
Like, shame that it's gone, but also perfectly valid Lagoon.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. 100%.
so the Colossus is also really cool too because it's got the back-to-back concentric loops, but there is one traveling coaster, I believe, that still travels. You can look up where it is. It travels over in Europe, and I believe it has five, and it's called like Olympia.
Olympia
Yeah.
Looping. It's one of the legendary coasters because it does still travel. And because of that, it is kind of like a little bit of a scavenger hunt on trying to find where the roller coaster is going to be and how to run. It is listed under it is listed under defunct now. Jetstar 2 is
Okay.
listed under defunct. So the
Dang.
what was the third one they had that was like a was it Spider? Was technically
No, Spider is the launch coaster. Um
no, that's Wicked.
oh, it was Spider then.
Yeah, Spider's the spinning one. Was that technically a?
No, I don't think so.
It's hard to tell based off the pictures.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it was Jetstar 2. This one, not Bombara, not Cannibal, not Primordial, not Puff the Little Fire Dragon. Maybe it was that one. Yeah,
It
that
is
one could have been a
yeah.
traveling roller coaster very easily, actually.
It is very hard to tell with Spider.
I know.
But
It is.
do
It
do you
is.
remember if we had to walk on like the like metal pathway like for Colossus up to Spider?
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
I don't think so.
Okay. So cuz
Yeah.
we had to do that I think for both Jetstar and for Colossus. So I don't think this one was.
Maybe it's the Wild Mouse. That technically could have been a traveling one. Because that one kind of had a weird. I'm going to go ahead and say it was the Wild Mouse.
Okay.
Because that one
If I'm
definitely
wrong, go
has
ahead and
some, like,
correct us.
not permanent vibes. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, they're permanent coasters now, so they've done some modifications to them to probably make them either A, appear more permanent, or B, actually, like, beef up the structures a little bit to make them a more reliable ride.
Yep.
But yeah, the Colossus the Fire Dragon 100% was a traveling coaster. Like
Yes.
it traveled for what 2 years before
2
it
years. Yep.
came over here to the Lagoon. So
Yep.
Lagoon is just a collection of very odd roller coasters because like you have Wild Mouse and Colossus the Fire Dragon and the 100-year-old roller coaster and Spider, like coasters that like may or may not fall apart at some point during your ride experience. And then you have Primordial and Cannibal, which are like these high tech, state of the art, multi-million-dollar investments. And you're just like, it's like two different amusement parks when you go to Lagoon. It really
it
is.
it really is. It's a very interesting place to go if you ever get the chance. Like, definitely do that, especially because Cannibal is very good.
Well worth it. Yes, very
Yes,
much worth it.
and the Cat Queen.
Oh yeah. Oh well, that part's a little nerve wracking. If you can get past the cat queen that stares into your soul.
Yeah, go listen to our Lagoon special last season. The thing was hilarious,
Oh
and it
yeah,
had a beef with Gabe.
it did. I swear.
It was awesome.
But
But
that being said,
anyways,
Colossus the Fire Dragon, very, very good ride experience.
yes,
Slightly death defying ride experience. Slightly might
yes,
lose your head, maybe a couple toes, maybe even a hand. I don't know. You will
yeah.
definitely walk off that roller coaster with less hair than you started with.
I think what was so cool about it is that this one sits right next to Wicked. So we hit it before we went to go ride Wicked. And like it doesn't like obviously the loops are going to be cool, but it's not very long. It's not very tall. It doesn't look like much. It does look very pretty to look at. But then we rode it and I was just like, oh, this is
It's a
another one.
very unassuming roller coaster, and
Yes.
I think a lot of Schwarzkopfs are like that. Like unless you like if you know what a Schwarzkopf is, you know what to expect. You can kind of have
Yes.
a general idea. But like this coaster, just the it's not visually imposing. It's not this massive structure. It's not like I said this high tech multi-million dollar thing. It's literally a coaster sitting on like temporary supports and
Yeah.
just a very unassuming like how I'm gonna ride this for the credit, and
Yep.
like that's about it. And actually, it's like the second most intense roller coaster at Lagoon, and like it's a rip your face off, smash your toes in kind of ride experience that you're just not expecting at all. And even for us, like I knew Schwarzkopf, like what to expect, but like I would say this: out of the Schwarzkopfs that I have ridden, this and then the Riddler at Six Flags Over Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
two of the most intense coasters in the world. Like
Yes.
just insane amount of intensity in and this one is just in a lot smaller, less permanent package, and that's why you're just not expecting it when you walk up
Yes.
to get a ride on this thing.
Absolutely. And it was so much fun. Oh my god. I'm just I love this thing so much.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a really, really good roller coaster.
Yes. But hey, did we actually do a 30-minute episode, Gabe? Holy
I
crap.
think so. Well, it's fun size, so we had to make the episode fun size.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, so we're gonna pick winners. I'll go first because I'm picking Colossus.
Really? Who thought
Yes,
that was gonna happen? You're a Schwarzkopf gal at the
I
end of the
am. I
day.
love these
I'm gonna
guys.
be honest, this is a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go with Thunderbolt though. I just love the historical Woody in the valley,
Mm-hmm.
the combination of that roller coaster, the location, the amusement park it's at, the gigantic opposite end of the spectrum roller coaster standing right over the top of it. I will say this, Thunderbolt, another very unassuming roller coaster though. Like
It
visually when you look at it, especially comparing it to Phantom's Revenge, because you have that drastic comparison right there.
yes.
Like imagine taking Colossus and then moving it over next to Cannibal, and you just be like, that's over 100 foot height difference. Like
Yeah.
just the drastic change visually that Thunderbolt has between its neighbor. It's just a fun, really another unassuming roller coaster that's gonna surprise you. It doesn't have quite the rip your face off factor that Colossus the Fire Dragon has, but it has that nostalgia, old, super unique, historical aspect that I love in roller coasters. Obviously, I've always been the
Mm-hmm.
history nut over here. So I
Yes.
think I'm going to go with Thunderbolt on this one.
I do want to point out at the episode here, though, we did pick two parks that have probably the most unique lineups, but
Yeah,
very
actually.
good lineups.
Yes.
And three of the most unique hyper roller
Oh,
coasters.
yes.
So that's a very
Not
good.
named B&M Hypers, right?
Yes, yeah. So we have I'm spacing on the manufacturer of freaking Steel Curtain.
SNS.
SNS. We have an SNS hyper. We have
A
a
Morgan slash Arrow Hyper.
yes,
And
and
then
then
you
we have
have uh
I know, right? Is it Mock? No, it's not Mock. Mock is
nope.
the one who
It's
did
another
Primordial.
weird one. It's another weird one. Hold on, let me.
I got it. It's Art Engineering.
Yes, art manufacturing. Technically, it's an in-house build because that's their manufacturing company is art,
Oh, okay.
but they also build roller coasters elsewhere, so that's
Okay.
why it's labeled that way. They don't just build them at Lagoon.
Yes.
Because like when you go to their webpage, they do have two. interactive coasters, 3 family coasters. They have a family launch coaster? Didn't even know that. What do they look like? BB and Tina. Oh, there's no pictures of it. Well, it's because it's not opening till 2027. Oh, hold on.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
find one. Let me find one that's actually open. Oh, they build. We rode one of these.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah, at Carowinds. They have one at Carowinds, but we rode the one at Canada's Wonderland.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So yeah, they do build coasters elsewhere, but
Okay.
they're kind of a newer manufacturer too. They haven't been around as long.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're
All right.
calling their mega coaster. What is that? Oh, that's probably it is Cannibal. Is technically their mega coaster.
Okay.
Well, that's fitting. That's very fitting, actually. All right, well, let's wrap this guy up. Let's wrap this
Okay.
episode up. Well, we were doing good. Now look at what we did.
I know, right?
Another 7 minutes in.
So our next episode coming up is going to be a special episode, and
Yes.
we're calling the Dilemma at Kings Island. So first of all, this is a listener suggestion, and kind of, yeah,
we put our own spin on it.
Exactly. So, and we already had this planned out. We just moved it up, and we'll shout out our listener during the episode. But we're going to go over everything and anything Kings Island, but at the same time, we're going to talk about what we're calling the problem with Kings Island. And you'll just have to listen next week to figure out what we mean by that.
Yeah. That's going to be a very fun episode, a very unique episode, something we've never really done on this podcast before.
Yeah.
I do want to start incorporating more just general park talks into our things. The problem is we really focused in on like individual roller coasters, so the thing is like when we do individual roller coasters, I feel like you get a lot more of a deep dive into that specific roller coaster. And that's kind of why we did it the way we did. However, we have had several recommendations on to do just theme parks in general.
Yeah.
So I do think you're going to see, especially towards the end of the season, more of those types of episodes incorporated into our podcast. Our ever-changing, always inconsistent podcast.
Yes.
That's the thing. We're very flexible here because we have to be. But that'll be a very fun, I think that's going to turn into like an hour-long episode if I had to guess by the time we're done talking about the roller coasters and everything about Kings Island.
Absolutely, actually.
So the original title, I will say this, the original title of the episode was Is Kings Island Better Than Cedar Point? And that kind of gives you a hint at where we're going with that episode. Yes. That's as much as we'll tell you. That was already too much. We already ruined the surprise. But yeah.
Okay, so after that, though, we're going to have 2 more battles episodes, and the first one is going to be the Battle of 2025. So these are new coasters for 2025, and that's going to be an interesting episode.
Yes, very, very interesting.
And then after that, we are going to do an episode, but we literally just labeled any Woody coaster. And again, another fun episode. We're going to talk about 2 wooden roller coasters that we have not mentioned. Well, we've mentioned mine before, but I don't know that we've even mentioned yours.
I think we did at the beginning of the year of this season, at the very first episode. I don't know how much we touched on it. We definitely mentioned it. The other thing I will say too, those are 2 very underrated Woodies. They don't get talked about very much, especially yours. I do know yours has gone through several retracking processes over the last couple of years. So I think that's a big part of yours. Like even mine, just because of the location where it's not at a very big amusement park. Not a lot of people get on it. That roller coaster could be potentially one of the best roller coasters in the state that it's in. And that's kind of a hot take. Yeah. So, but yeah, that'll be fun. And then, I like the Battle of 2025. That's going to be I didn't realize even the roller coaster types.
Yeah.
Like the ride models. It's just a very Very interesting battle. I think you might be surprised on how that one turns out too. I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't know. We'll see. That's another
Yeah.
one where I could talk myself either way, I think.
But thank you, everybody, for listening, and join us next week for The Dilemma of Kings Island.
And I hope you all have a great day.